and welcome to Inspired into Action. I'm your host, Tara Omatosho, and today I am speaking with Michele Lopez. How are you doing today, Michele?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well. Today, Michele is going to talk to us about who she is and what it is that she does.
Okay. So I am a celebrity image expert first. I'm also a producer of film and television show. I'm also a teacher, a speaker, and a coach, which is the funnest part of everything that I do. So yeah.
Okay. So Michele, how did you get started in the industry? Is this something that you always wanted to do?
No. Actually, honestly, the image part I did, the outward image part I did, from when I was as far back as I can remember, child. I, loved everything that was beautiful in my eyes, and it was really like a gifting for me. So anything I could look at and switch it up and change it and make it prettier and make it more perfected, I could do that. That was a God-given talent. As I grew older, I took image consulting classes, got business cards, never got one client. So I went on, ended up opening a mortgage company, and at a point in my career, when that shifted for me, I decided that I would do what it is that I love. But what it is that I love really consisted of making an impact for women. And so I just used the way that God had given me to use the way that I knew.
Mm-hmm. So was it
Saks Fifth Avenue?
Go ahead.
I went to Saks Fifth Avenue, and there I gained a clientele, sold millions with a product. Long story short, I had an office, flew all over, and I styled some of the top politicians, socialites, celebrities. And so that's really how I got my start in that. But that's how I got my start in it, to where people knew it. But it was always a gifting for me.
Yeah. So you're saying basically it was always in you, and that's what is so important for the listeners to hear, because a lot of times people are trying to do things or create things that may not be inside them. And then you have these other people that have gifts like you that it's already inside them, and you just really purpose in your mind to perfect that gift, and you sought after it because you said you went to Saks Fifth Avenue and really gained the clientele that you want.
I did, but I have to tell you that a lot of this is, what God has put inside of each one of us. Each one of us has a different story and a different purpose and a plan. But the bottom line is there is purpose for us. And so I did not go to Saks Fifth Avenue thinking I'm going to have a career in this. I went to Saks Fifth Avenue because I was broke. I have never had, and I'm extremely honest about this because I've become very successful at what I do. But the reality of it is, there are times in your life with all of us that you don't know. The work becomes finding that out. And the way that I found it out was, one, I did not have a choice, but then two, I started to search. I started to ask questions. I started to ask rhetorical questions that only between me and God, or me and within here, the answers were found. That's what each and every one of us. So I can't tell you what it is that you're purposed to do. I can ask you questions, and so it will light a fire. It will spark something in you to say, and why am I here? And what do I love to do if no one gave me any money? And what am I really, really good at? Because a lot of times what you're really, really good at, or what you think you're really, really good at, there could be another plan for you. Just don't, but it is found within you. And so that's what I did, because when I went there, I didn't think I was going to sell $1 million and I was going to have a Yanla and then move on to open my own company and all that. That was not a dream of mine. None of that was in my plans. Yeah. So my plan when I went there initially was to make money for my children. But what I decided while I was there, one of the biggest lessons that I learned from having to shut down my mortgage company is that wherever you are, you do it in excellence. And so that's really one of my rules. So what I wanted to do was just be excellent at what I was doing.
That's a key. That's the key, because your excellence will make room for you in every area that you go into. Yeah. So when someone says, like, what inspired you to be in this field, what would your answer be? I mean, if you didn't go in this, attaining this type of success that you have achieved so far, what would be your inspiration behind all the things that you do?
My why.
Yes.
My why, that is my inspiration. I know what my why is. My why is to inspire women and people and help them understand that they can win. And so the way that I influence that and the way that I help to, really, I wanted to change lives. I wanted to be an influence, not because I am so great, but because of what I know has transpired in my life for me. I know that I'm no different from anyone else. What I was willing to do was work. What I was willing to do was sit still and be quiet when I did not know. What I was willing to do was ask the questions and go on a course to find the answers, no matter what that meant. And so my why is I want people to win. In everything that I do, that is my why. And so it was the same way in the mortgage industry. I was super successful in that. And so when I had to shut that down, for me, this became really what God had purposed me to do, because I was able to use beauty to touch women and to touch people, but not just beauty on the outside. And so that's what people really, really expect. And that's what I started out as doing, because that's what I was hired to do. But my reality is that in my industry and with every celebrity friend that I have, with every politician that I've done, these are people that I've worked with and people that are, a lot of them are my dear friends. It is really about what's going on in here, because my job becomes, I paint a picture. I tell a story through the outward appearance. What story am I telling? And how do I know what story am I telling? I only know that story when I understand who you are. But if you're not clear on who you are, then you don't know the story either. And so there's the work.
So when people work with you, you're two, I guess, triple fold. You're working with them on their image, and you're also, maybe unbeknownst to them, you're working on their inner image as well?
Actually, how I do this now, which I've transitioned, is, I have a team that works on image. I do really big campaigns. Again, I produced a film, and I hired someone to do image. But really, what I've learned is my bottom line in working with me, and I don't necessarily know that it really has to be special for me to do on an individual basis unless I am coaching. If I'm not doing that, then I won't take it on an individual basis, because I am clear that the image is much, much bigger than the outward part. That's a very, very small part. That's what society says. And I've done it for such a very long time. And it has been in my own life that I'm very clear that if you don't master several things, you'll never be able to master your image. But that is the whole man. And so styling, I'm not the typical stylist. I, again, started out styling and then became a celebrity image expert, but then went on to do coaching. And so I combined the two of them. Once I've got all of the inside going, it is very, very easy to do the outside. In fact, if I work with you and we're talking and I'm pulling, you can probably do the outside on your own. The goal is to give you the tools, to give you the information, to ask questions, for you to ask questions, and for you to wake up every day curious. And it will become easy once you are clear on who you are. And most of us say we are, but it took many, 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 many years for me to do that, and I'm still on this road. And so I never believe fully. If someone comes to me and says, "Oh no, I'm good and I have nothing going on," yeah, not true. So you probably not the one. You don't want to take my classes. You don't want to go on the online course, because your feelings gonna be hurt.
Right. I believe everyone has something to work on, and sometimes it just takes someone's assistant to help pull those things out. And it made me subconsciously, you know, those things that we hide inside that don't necessarily come out unless there's a crisis or a situation that causes that thing, whatever that is, to come out.
Or maybe never.
Maybe never.
It might be something that you struggle with for your life. And us as women, you know, we are taught without being taught to mask a lot of things. No one says it, but that is our reality. And because we do that, then we share a little and not all.
Yeah.
Which means that's how you suffer inside.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true. It's definitely true. Definitely true. So in regards to being the producer, we haven't talked about that. How did that all happen for you? I mean, was this something that, I mean, obviously it wasn't something that you were planning to do.
No.
But how did it happen? How did this work? And what's the movie? Tell us all about what's going on.
So the movie's called Love.com. It is like a funny love story, but it has an underlying message talking about gentrification, which really is a big deal here in DC, and that's where we filmed the entire movie in DC. How I became a producer on it is one of those things with my life, kind of a long but short story, but the short of it is the executive producer, BK Fulton, I met him through Vivica Fox, became a very good friend of mine. He wanted to create the film. I introduced him to the writer, which is someone that I have worked with for years, mentoring and managing. And as we went along, he decided, let's make the film. And so I did the casting. Listen, here's the thing. But I cast it very well. I casted friends of mine, Kim Whitley, Lisa Ray, Charles Malik Whitfield, Tobias from Empire. The cast is amazing. So I was really proud of myself for that. But these are, you know, people in the industry that I've worked with and that are friends of mine. And so it really worked out well for me. But here's my reality. My reality is, it is always my prayer that when I show up, God shows up. When I show up in a room, people's lives increase, the atmosphere changes. I'm clear. It is my prayer. It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with him. But because of that, and I'm casting, me being producer on the set is just that. When I show up in a room, the atmosphere shifts. And because I've been a business owner for so very long, putting out fires is the least of the concern. The concern is the energy that goes along with putting this together and having people get along and just feeling really, really comfortable in their space. And not just that, me sort of walking them through, like, own it, own your space. I think everybody should own their greatness. People can call it what they want. They say it's arrogance, I say it's confidence. When you are clear, even when you're beginning to get clear on who you are, you have a different energy. So you walk into the room and you understand, like, you're not trying to own anyone else's space. You're owning your own space because you're good. You're good here with where you are. And so that's kind of the atmosphere that I really wanted to set while we were filming the movie, because they're very long hours and really long days. And it really, really worked. We're in post-production right now. You guys will see it in 2018 once we do Sundance and a couple of other big film festivals. But yeah, I'm really, really proud of that. I didn't set out to be a producer. I set out to help change lives. And when you can put people to work, and when you can say one word to someone and it sparks their thought process, that could change someone's life. And so for me, everything I do centers around my why. If no one gets anything out of what I'm saying today, what they need to be clear on is question what your why is. Even if you don't know, question it. Because when you ask the question, when you're alone in your room, where you're anywhere, you and yourself, you and God, you and your maker, when you ask the question, I promise you, if you're still enough for long enough and you listen and you trust, he will tell you what your walk is. You will become clear. And once you're clear about that, doesn't matter what you do, because everything will center around that.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. I want to go back to when you were talking about when you're in your space and owning your space. How did you handle when you came into that that point in your life where you were owning your space, the people who maybe knew you before and their reaction to how you own your space?
You know, that for me was a really big transition. That for me has taken a lot of work, has taken a lot of me becoming more clear about who I am and understanding that, you know, I am dope. I am great. So are you.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that I own that does not make me better than you. It just makes me like good with Michele. And a lot of people can't handle that. But here's what I've learned. People are going to talk about you whether you're doing good, bad, or nothing at all. So you might as well give them something to talk about.
No, that's right.
Do that. And so let me give you something to talk about. And if you hang around me long enough, you'll be surprised at what you're talking about. Do you understand? Because a lot of times people, most of us judge you before they're clear on who you are. So I've always gotten when I walk into the room. But now, because my presence is, when you learn to own your space, you walk in with the presence. It doesn't matter where you are in the room, who you are, you just do, right?
Yes, right.
And sometimes that can be intimidating to people, but it's not intimidating. It becomes intimidating when others are not clear on who they are. So I don't judge that because I've been in those spaces.
Right.
So I'm okay with all of that. I have become okay with all that. Now I'm very intentional about who I allow in my private space because I only want energy around me that fuels who I am and what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm intentional about my private space. But, you know, outside in the public or when I'm with the Yala or when I'm on the road, like, it's okay because first of all, when you get that everything is not about you.
Right.
It makes it easier. It makes it easier. So the fact that someone looks at me funny or says, I knew her when she was hanging out and partying and dropping it like it's hot, and I still might have in this house. You know?
But I still might do that.
Let's be clear. She ain't changed that much. But people always want to hold you to what they knew.
Right.
The problem is, you know, you ask the question of those that want to do that, do they want people to hold them to what they used to be? And as we grow and as you know better, you do better, right?
Right.
So but when you allow yourself the space to just be and not be so critical of your own self and know that everything that you come with is good and it's okay and it's enough, it's much easier for you to be very accepting of other people, whether they frown at me or not. It's much easier. And most of the time, I'm like, well, you shouldn't frown because you would like me. I have lots to offer.
Yes, I know. I know. But you know what? The thing you pointed on, which is really good, is that when people are feeling a certain way about themselves, they sort of put their feelings or portray their feelings on you. And it's good that, and just like you said, I mean, I saw you and I met you and I witnessed that firsthand. You are very open to people and very advising to people. I mean, I can see how someone who may have a low self-esteem or feel just whatever life brings, it doesn't have to be because of just the way you look. It could just be life because your self-esteem is low. But seeing you could be intimidating, you know, seeing you could be. But I know that wasn't your personality because you're so nice.
And the thing is, you know, let's just be very, very clear about this. You know, for many, many years, I struggled with many, many insecurities and thinking that I wasn't enough, from, you know, me not liking my pointy nose, to me not liking my freckles, to me, you know, there were many things that today everyone goes, oh, you're so pretty and I love your freckles and you have this perfect nose. Does not matter what other people think if it is not something that you feel on the inside. And so I get it. I understand it. Like I am super sensitive to it because I know that when you start changing your way of thinking, you really, really change your life. And my question has been, and it is one of the questions that I pose to myself, and it's one of the questions that I say on my online course. If no one told you what to believe, what would you believe? Because we don't come here being insecure as babies. We don't. It is society. It is our parents. Because I'm a parent. Yeah. And so people put on you what is going on in their own lives, sometimes in their own struggles and what they lived. And so you kind of got to, for lack of better terms, unlearn a lot of that for you to be good with you. And so that's all I've done, is I've taken the time to unlearn it. So with that being said, oh, honey, if you don't like me now, I get better next week and finer and smarter.
No, that's right. I get better like fine wine, right? With time, I get better and better.
If you don't like me now, you're going to be in trouble.
So in regards to just lessons learned, I really like to talk about lessons learned. Okay. What are some things that you look back in your past, and it could be past like yesterday, that you say that you would never do that again? What are some things that you can think of that you would never do again?
One of the things that I think that when you are in a space of not feeling like you are enough, you overcompensate in many, many, many areas that probably don't serve you. And one of the ways that I did overcompensate is I really went above and beyond to try to get people to like me. Or I would do things, and even when I was tired, even with my kids, I'd be like, okay, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. Okay. Tired, mad, irritated. But people say they do that stuff out of the kindness of their heart. But really, if you dig deep enough, some things we do out of the kindness of our heart. Everything that I do now is because I check it. But if we were to dig deep enough, you know, a lot of that stemmed from me not feeling good enough and from me wanting to be accepted, and this is the way that I would be accepted. And today, newsflash, if you don't love me just because, and if you don't accept me just because, then I'm really okay with that. It ain't nothing that I have to do to earn it. Yeah. You know, you set out to earn people's. I set out to earn people's respect, not for them to like me. Because when you respect me, the light comes, the love comes. You respect my boundaries. And I never had many boundaries before. I have lots of them now. Okay. Not just for other people, but for myself. What works for me? And that was very hard for me to say. That was very hard for me to do. And as women, we say we do it because we talk a lot of this. Yeah. We really have a hard time with that. Yeah. So that was one of the lessons that I really, really learned. The other one was, relax. Relax. Really is going to be okay. Like, it really is going to be okay. Like, it's much better than you think it is. It really is. Yeah. And my grandmother used to say to me at times that I just felt horrible. She'd be like, no, honey, this is going to pass. And I used to be like, oh. But in all honesty, it does pass. Everything happens in seasons. And you got to know that, you know, it really will be okay. It really will. And be easy on yourself. I was so hard on myself. And what you learn, because for me, I don't know what everyone out there believes, and I really talk about what I believe, but me having a relationship with God, what I've learned through that is that for me, it's just been a journey of love. It hasn't been a journey of religion. This is about me going to church and quoting scriptures, because I can't quote a whole bunch. I know what I know, and I continue to read, but I read the Bible like it's a book. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. My reality is, this is about relationship, and where I found my peace, and where I found my grounding, and where I have located who I am, minus my parents, minus what friends said about me, minus sometimes what I even thought, was having a relationship with God. It validated me, which means that because He does, I don't need you to.
Yeah, you're right. That the relationship is key. The relationship is key. You said so many good things, but that's the most important. To me, that's the most important thing, is relationship. And you know, people can quote a lot of things, but I want to see your lifestyle. You know, I want to see your lifestyle, and you're changing. Like you said, when you come on set or you come into a room, you're bringing the presence of God with you, and that lives are going to be changed because you came into the room. That's the most powerful thing.
It is, and it is the most important. because I don't want people to ask me about God because I'm quoting the scripture. I want them to ask me about God because they see something in me that is different. They don't even know what it is half the time. It is that love factor, because that's really what it's about.
That is what it's about. That is what it's about.
But that took my relationship, not for me telling you the private moments of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the really sad and bad moments, the really, really good moments of me just cultivating that as if I'm talking to you. It's just how I talk to him and how I'm able to just be, knowing that because of that I'm safe. So what can you do to me? Why should I feel upset if you look at me and roll your eyes? I'm not looking for your validation. I'm not. But what I do look to do is my why. Like, need it. If I could say one word, if what I do and what I say sparks something in you to ask the questions and be curious and light a fire that can't go out, then yeah, I've done what I came to do. Like, that's it for me.
Yeah, you're right about that. Let me ask you, because you're a mother, how has your business and your companies, how is mothering and being an entrepreneur, how has that played a part in your life, and how did you overcome maybe some of those hurdles of parenting and being still relevant?
Gosh. Well, one, God makes me relevant. Two, you know, my children are grown now, believe it or not. My oldest son is 26, and my daughter is 24, and my baby is 18. And I was a single parent for 16, 17 years. And honestly, I have to tell you, one, they've been my greatest teachers. Not by what they said to me, just about what I learned about myself, because they really are mirrors of who you are.
Yes.
And what it is that you taught them. So some of it I was like, yes, I did a good job. And other I was like, ooh, that was me, Lord.
I need to change that. Yeah.
Yes. But the reality of it is, honestly, it was very, very tough. I chose to make the sacrifice so that I could, in my eyes, give them a life that I thought they deserved, because I was a single parent. But even in that, you have to be very careful, because children don't necessarily remember the money. They remember the moments, as people do, and how you made them feel and how much time that you spent with them. So some of the things that kept me away from home, you know, in my life have had regrets about those. But moving past that, you know, it's tough to juggle it. And again, I pulled on the strength that I had, that I knew was inside of me on my really, really tough days, and said, you know, this is what I asked for. This is what I wanted. And okay, cry, but wipe the tears and let's go. Like, get it done. And honestly, that takes courage. That takes a lot of just being brave. And for me, being brave is not that I've never been afraid or nervous, because many times in my life, taking risk and calculated decisions and not knowing it, and change in itself causes you to sometimes be fearful. But what one, I trusted in that, okay, well, the first thing is, what do I have to lose? Because and I tell people this, because if in fact I don't do it, then I'm going to regret it. But what if it works? What if? Right? And so I would rather live in that state, and I would have rather showed my children that than to show them someone that does not know how to be courageous, and does not know how to take risks, and does not know how to banker herself in God, because that's what I've always been doing. So if there's something for me to tell you that will make it easier, my honest truth is no. What makes it easier is knowing God got you, knowing there's somebody that got you covered and got your back. If you fall, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, failure is for me just not ever giving it a shot, not doing it and it doesn't work. For me, that's a part of the journey that you are on when you want to be successful. That is part of it. That is, over and over again, I've had an idea. Ooh, tried it, that didn't work. Okay. But I never am upset with myself about that. What I would be upset with is that if I lived this life and there were things that I knew in my heart I wanted to do and I never even attempted to do them.
Yeah.
Because in my classes and when I teach, I always tell people, this is not what I heard. This is what I've lived and this is what I'm living. And nothing happens until you do. Nothing.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing falling out the sky. God ain't setting no money on your lap. And I know y'all think y'all go win the lottery, but I need you to work hard until if that day ever happens. Okay,
Right.
you can believe that. But I promise you, like nothing happens until you happen.
Right. Right. And the thing is, if you never try, you never know. Like you said, you would never know. And I'm like you. I would rather try and sort of, so to speak, fail and learn from that, and never just sit here and just have all these dreams and not do anything with it.
And then possibly be rerouted. Do you know how many times I've been rerouted in my life? And I don't mind that. That's part of the road to success too. Like, that's part of me trusting, like, okay, oh, it's not that, but now I got it, it's that. Like, that's part of this journey. It is. And I've just decided that, you know, I know I'm fine and all, and I look young, but I'm in the second half of this thing. So while I got the energy and the wherewithal and as many people as I can pull with me, like, come on, you can win at this. Because here's the goal. The goal now is to leave a legacy. The goal is to touch the lives of people so that when it's all said and done, it's like, oh, I did that.
Yeah.
So did such and so did a whole lot of other people. You know what I mean? So
right. Yeah, that's so great. Yeah. So 2 more questions. In regards to skills, and if someone wanted to do, they wanted to get into the industry and styling celebrities, what are some skills that you think they need in order to get into the industry?
You know, the industry itself can be a very tough place to get into initially. And I have to tell you, more of me getting in the industry was really my work ethic and my belief system, right? But if you want to get into the image and styling, I mean, you can go to school for it. There are some amazing schools to go to, but just like everything else with college, nothing really trumps experience. Nothing trumps hard work. There were so many things that I did outside, even when I was at Saks, that I went above and beyond and never got paid a dime for. But there are a lot of times when you get so much more than you get in a check.
Right.
And I think some of that we've lost, some of the drive and the vision of seeing where you want to go and actually doing everything that you can do to make that happen. I always tell people, like, you do everything you can do and leave the rest up to God, because if it's gonna be, it's gonna be, but it won't be if you don't push. And
right.
if you want in this industry, it's not gonna be if you don't work hard. It's not gonna be if you don't know who you are and you're not willing to open your mouth and share who you are and what you believe, even if you never had a client. It's not lying, it is your belief system. So the foundation of that is believing that you have the capability, maybe not fully the skill, because skill can be learned, but everything that you need outside of that is already within you. You have to place a demand on that. That means long nights, long days. Trust me, there were many days that I drove up to the parking lot and was so tired, could not get out the car. But I would take that any day to do what it is that I felt like I was purposed to do. And so nothing trumps hard work. It doesn't. It really doesn't. But if you can get up underneath someone that is willing to guide you and help you and show you, and you are willing to learn, that would make it easier too. Because a lot of times, you know, I teach and I speak and I go into the schools and I speak, and the generation has changed. even with the young adults. And a lot of times we feel entitled. Newsflash.
Yeah.
You're not entitled to anything.
No.
You're not. Really. Not when it comes to you working. You know, being a child of God entitles you to a lot of things, but he doesn't say that you don't have to work.
Right.
And he doesn't say that. He gives you the ideas. You got to put that stuff into action, and you got to push like this. It is how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice? Because that's what it takes. You know, when I used to laugh and be like, okay, so people want sometimes what it is that you have, but they definitely don't want to do what you had to do to get to where you are.
Right.
While other people were out and at parties and having dinner, I was working. I was working and then at home on the computer and then working some more. But I'm so okay with that. And you have to be good with that. You have to. But the thing is, what helped me was retail. And I had never worked retail, but even if you go to school, you can get into that to where you can at least get your foot in the door in the industry and see how it works.
Right.
There are several things in the industry that you can do, and it doesn't have to be styling. You might find, okay, this was my vision, but now I think I want to do this. So I think I want to dress the mannequins. So I think I want to be behind the scenes.
Right.
But all of the roles are important.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that it really was, and I mean, you got to be aggressive. Not aggressive to where you're stepping on other people. You think you can climb a ladder by not having integrity, because that's not going to keep you in the industry. But be aggressive on saying what it is you want, have the vision, write it down, make it plain, and it will keep you on track. It will keep you pushing.
Yeah. You're right. You're right about that. You have to have the vision and you have to make it plain. And you do have to have you have to have integrity. I mean, because I know there's people out there that don't have integrity, and there's people that are cutthroat and they'll do whatever they have to do. But I think at the end of the day, and you have to let me know if you agree or not, it's those things that, like when you stand for something and when you are a hard worker and you work, because we're believers, we work unto God and not unto man. Those things far outreach some of the cutthroat things that people may do to you. And like you said, God always has your back. So he'll bring you before people that you didn't even know were recognizing you. And
your gift will make room for you. And you'll put you in the presence of people that in your mind, like, I don't belong here, but you do. Because that's where he's placed you. And so people can think that they're cutting your throat, or people can think that they're going around you and cutting corners. I've had all that happen, but here's the reality. You didn't get me here. You can't sustain me. Do you understand? And what it is that God has for me, you can't have it. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. So I always tell people, especially women, what would be the point of hating on someone else? Or, you know, I even don't take a lot of that personal. I really don't think that's super personal. I really think that just has to do with the person themselves. But here's the point. It's not serving you. Do things that serve you, because hating on someone else is not going to get you what they have. It's not like God is going to take from them what he wanted them to have and give it to you. That's not how this works. So if you're smart and you see some qualities in someone that you think that can be increased in you, the smart thing to do is get beside them. The smart thing to do is figure out what they've done.
Yeah.
Because if you want to know where you're going, look who you follow.
Yeah, yeah. So who do you follow? Who did you follow in the past, and who do you follow now?
My grandmother. She is who inspires me now, and she's been gone for 2 years. She was everything that I ever wanted to be. From a little girl, she was smart, she was beautiful, she had the biggest office I'd ever seen. She was super successful. I went into her office, and that's when I first realized, oh, I'm gonna be a boss. I want it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But bigger than that, she was a woman of God, and she taught me how to serve. And she taught me how to love by being loving, by exemplifying it, not saying it. And that took me a really, really long time. But because she loved on me, she taught me how to really love myself and be okay with who I was. And for that, I honor her. And it was and has always been my goal to continue her legacy. But, you know, like I tell my daughter, if I do this thing right, you'll go far beyond what I did and you'll do it quicker. And so that is my goal, to take what she started in me, and really God did it. So she just enhanced what she saw in me, really the purpose. And so, you know, I really want to live that out, and I want to do it in a greater way. I do. I want to do it in a greater way. I want to do it in such a way that, you know, women turn around and they do it. And it is something that constantly changes lives. Like if that's what I'm here for, if this is all the struggle and all the tears and all the late nights and all the, like, to lead me to this place and to be able to impart what it is that I've learned in someone else's life, like she did for mine, which completely changed my life, then yeah, that's what I want to do. And that's why I keep pushing. Yeah. That's why I keep pushing. That's why I produce the film. That's why I coach. That's why now I'm doing other things, because, you know, people need to see you win. Yeah. And realize that somebody's watching you. And it really isn't all about you. People need to see you win. And not only do they need to see you win, somebody needs what you have. Yeah. Somebody needs what you have. So, yeah, that's it.
That's good. You shared a lot of great nuggets. I mean, you dropped the mic so many times on us. I really appreciate you taking out the time to talk with the listeners about who you are and just how who you are can help who they want to be, who they are even right now. Tell us, what do you have going on that they can get involved in, and where can they find you?
Okay, so I am getting ready to launch my online courses, which I'm really, really excited about. It's 5 weeks, and trust me, you know, my whole heart, my whole soul. So, and it's about mastering your image. It's 5 weeks, but when I say life-changing, like, you'll be shocked. It's life-changing. You'll be shocked. It's life-changing. I am also having an event in October for women. And right now we're in the middle of filming 20 shows for Yamla Fix My Life. And I am in the middle of seeing about whether or not we're going to do another film. But honestly, I've done it now. I don't know that, like, I'm speaking all over. So for me, that's so much bigger and greater than anything else that I could ever do. And I know my why. I know that's what I'm purposed to do. And so that I'll do a lot more of. So again, I'm really excited about the online classes. That it'll come with a journal and some other stuff. I don't know. We could just turn it into a book. You never know with me, and you'll blink your eyes and you'll be like, oh, she did it, right? But yeah, it's all really exciting for me. It really is exciting. And I'm really excited about what's to come for women, and not just for women, for people in general, once they get a hold of the information. You know, I'm not a psychologist. What I do is ask you the rhetorical questions, not for you to give me the answers, but for you to search for the answers. And once you do that, you will find the answers. I'm only telling you what I've done and what has worked for my life over and over and over again. So I'm really, really excited to get that information out and just see how people's lives change from that.
That's great. And they can find you where?
So my Instagram and my Facebook is Michele Lopez _LLC. But Michele is spelled with one L. Don't y'all misspell my name. It's CHELELOPEZ _LLC. Yeah.
Okay. All right, great.
And there's an email there probably, so you know, I don't check it, but I have people that check it, so we'll be able to give out the information.
All right, great. Thank you again for sharing information. I can't wait for people to see the interview and to get all the nuggets that I just received from this interview. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.